changed my mind. Girl, I don't envy you. Maybe it ain't so bad having parents that don't give a damn about you, Ari joked. Ari's parents were drug addicts, and she saw them sporadically growing up, and now they only reached out if they needed something. Her grandmother raised her, and she passed away a few years ago. Stop it. I'm serious. I love how your parents love you, but damn, they can be overwhelming. You got that right. You don't know how many times I prayed for a sibling. I bet. You know what? I have an idea that might take the heat off you. I mean, at least during the trip. I'm almost willing to do anything. Let me hear it. Have you heard of Platinum Connections? I frowned as I thought about where I'd heard the name before. The escort service? Ari nodded. Are you suggesting I use an escort service? I am. Ari, we've been friends long enough for you to know damn well I'm not about to use an escort service. Who will know? I don't know. But if someone in my family finds out, I'll never hear the end of it. Girl, fuck them people. The only people who will talk shit are those chicken heads you call cousins, and I know you don't care what they think. I shook my head. I don't care, but I also don't want to hear their mouths. She sighed and rolled her eyes before saying, I have a confession. What's that? I met Eugene through Platinum Connections. I gasped because I didn't believe her. You didn't. I did, and I have zero regrets. I mulled over the idea for a few minutes, but couldn't see myself going to that extent to meet a man, although I was happy things had worked out for Ari. I can't do it, friend. She shrugged her shoulders. Suit yourself. We talked for a while longer, then called security to escort us out of the building. Downtown Chicago was relatively safe, but we always took extra precautions. We also had drivers because traffic was always an issue in the city, even though we lived downtown. Ms. B, how are you this evening? Good evening, Simon. I'm doing well, but I'm headed to my parents' house, so that could change. He chuckled before replying, Don't let them ruin the rest of your Friday night or weekend. That's easier said than done. While Simon drove me to Evanston, a suburb 15 to 20 miles north of Chicago, I replied to the emails and text messages I couldn't get to today. When we pulled into my parents' circular driveway, I took note of the cars already there. Give me a minute, Simon. Of course, he replied as he exited the car. As usual, my cousins, Monroe, Bailey, and Delaney, were always the first to arrive at any function. They were stay-at-home moms with nannies, cooks, and maids. I wasn't sure why they needed a nanny, because their small children went to daycare while their older children were in school or summer camps, depending on the time of the year. I wasn't a mother, so I kept my judgment to myself. I sighed, giving myself a mental pep talk before tapping the window to alert Simon I was ready. He opened the door and helped me out of the truck before asking if I wanted him to stick around. I don't want to be here for longer than an hour. Call me if I'm not walking out of that door by 8:45, and I'll pretend I have a work emergency. I got you, Miss B. I approached the front door to my parents' home, and before I could ring their doorbell, my mother, Anika, answered the door. Hey, Cammy, Ma greeted with a hug. Hey, Ma, has the meeting started yet? No, we're still waiting for your aunts, uncles, and a few of your cousins. You know Monroe, Bailey, and Delaney are already here. Even if I hadn't seen their cars, I'd assume they'd already arrived, because they can't wait to be messy. Don't start, Cammy. You know they mean well. If you say so. Where's Daddy? He went to the store to grab a few things, and should be back shortly. What's on the menu? I'm starving. I was in the mood for tacos, so I had Grace prepare a taco bar. That sounds great. I followed my mother into their huge kitchen, where my cousins were seated at the breakfast bar that took up a large area. Hey, I greeted the three of them. Hey, they replied simultaneously. Ma, how long do you think the meeting will be? My cousins and I merely tolerated each other, so there was no...